At one time, it used to be the British. Then came the Americans, and now the new economic hitman in the Caribbean is China. So effectively, what we're really doing is moving from one slave master to the next. We really can't pin our hands down on this thing we call independence or independent nations. We can't pin down anything on what we call CARICOM as a block, surviving as a block, trading as a block, exporting as a block, not importing everything, because CARICOM has the land space to do it. We can plant food in abundance from Guyana to Jamaica. We can rear our own animals for meat. And we do have them in the Caribbean instead of importing the junk that is loaded with antibiotics and many other chemicals that, of course, is turbocharging all of these diseases that we're seeing here around in the Caribbean today. This should be the region that has the least issue when it comes to communicable diseases, but it has such high amount of communicable diseases, and that is because non-communicable diseases, and that is because we keep importing these junk. So, like I said, we move from UK to the Americas to China. There's really no difference. And I see all these Caribbean leaders in Beijing lauding China's offer Latin America and the Caribbean billions in a bid to rival US influence. So we've been used as a pawn in a game against these big superpowers. That's what we're doing, really. We've been used. And we have these lazy minded leaders who cannot come up with anything effective than to just beg. Just beg. And so President Xi vowed to boost China's footprint in Latin America and the Caribbean with a 9 billion credit line and fresh infrastructure investment, although Brazil warned the region not to become over-reliant on foreign funding. Brazil is absolutely correct. 9 billion credit line. Your children, my children, not even them, the grandchildren will be paying back these loans. And when you can't pay them back, of course, China overtakes like anything else. The world's second largest economy will disburse 66 billion yuan in credit line to the community of Latin American Caribbean states. You know, we're not learning. We are not learning. And so we complain about America was not given, so we've turned to the new slave master. We keep on begging, and we can do better. Look at this road from Ocho Rios, I think, all the way almost to Kingston, Boardwalk. Well, it's not in Kingston, it's like Spanish Town area coming across there. But it connects with the main road. But what I'm saying is that China built this, but who's benefiting from it? Where's the money going? Is it boosting the Jamaican economy? Has it provided the long investments that they were told, that like hotels along the way, this along the way? Is it doing that? And those of you in Jamaica can let me know. But I'm just saying we keep selling out to these superpowers. And now Jamaica North-South Highway is a highway in Jamaica that is owned and operated by Jamaica North-South Highway Company Limited, which is what? A subsidiary of China Communications Construction Company. In effect, basically what we're telling you is that, look, Jamaica doesn't own anything here. This is China's road, built by Chinese, owned by China. Because the Jamaica North-South Highway is just which is the company there, JNSHCL, is just a subsidiary of CCCC, which is what? China Communications Construction Company. And so if you look at what's happening with the money for the highway, it says, yes, tolls collected on the North-South Highway in Jamaica built with Chinese financing are not used for debt servicing, but instead go directly to the Chinese developer, CHEC, as profit. So the money to fix the highway, if there's some hole or pothole, is it coming out from the profits? Apparently not. So the money is just going back to China. They don't own the highway. China owns it. It was funded by a Chinese loan. And CHEC was granted the right to own and operate the highway for 50 years to get back their money from Jamaican people, because Chinese are not driving on it from China. It's Jamaicans. I don't know when we will learn. I really don't know. And of course, you will say, if you borrow a loan, you have to pay back. Yes, you do have to pay back if you borrow a loan. And that is why We need to know what we're doing. And that is why if we export more than we import, we'll be able to build many of these things ourselves. I don't even know if the highway was as useful as people are saying it is. Some people say it's not useful as they thought it would have been. Some people say it's now a debt burden on Jamaica. Well, leave your comments in the section below. But I want to read to you something from the economic hitman. It says, we each have a role to play to end the economic hitman strategy. It's the time to end the economic hitman strategy once and for all. Of course, in the book, it exposed the perception to drive the EHM strategy of US and China, a strategy leading to a massive global failure. The US, if you want your country to prosper, accept loans from Washington consensus. Hire our companies to build infrastructure projects and submit to neoliberal policies. And China, if you want your country to prosper, accept China as a partner in trade that will not interfere in your government and use Chinese loans to hire our companies to build the infrastructure that makes this possible. Both must end. We've seen throughout these pages that these are the latest versions of centuries old perceptions about prosperity that support tactics intended to colonialize others through systems of domination. There you have it. I'll be reading from this book throughout this series. I'll be talking about China's economic dominance in the region and our new slave master, which is China, who, of course, is the new economic hitman. Leave your comments in the section below.